Good morning, everybody. I gotta tell you, with this president that we have in the office now, and I can't even mention his name, it just aggravates me. It's like nails on a chalkboard listening to him talk. But what really bothers me is that with all the lies that he told, oh, I read it in the newspaper, I saw this, what really got to concern every citizen of this country is the Ebola virus. This thing is going to get out of control really quick. Now, if you look on TV and they tell you about the nurse that got it, or these doctors that got it, with all the precautions that they took, they still got the virus. Now, the CDC, if they're only handling a handful of cases and, they go interview everybody that's been in contact with these people, what happens when there's 100 people? What happens when there's 1,000 people? When there's 5,000 people? And this could spread in the square root of everything. This is crazy. And the government keeps letting people into this country that easily could lie, while coming through the borders, whether it's on the plane or whether it's through Mexico or Canada, however they come here. We got to close off these borders now. Or everybody coming into this country, hold them at a 21-day incubation period. This is out of control. But on the other side, I could also see from the government standpoint that if we had, like in 1927, how influenza killed a lot of people, they would feel, the government said, gee, who's going to normally suffer? The elderly people that can't fight off this disease easily because they're not strong, their immune system is probably weak. A lot of people that won't go in, on the low income especially, that they don't want to pay deductibles, or they don't know what's going to happen, they can't take a day off from work, so they're going to infect other people. They won't get good medical care, so they'll die off. So here you got the elderly people dying off that are burdened on Social Security, and you got the people on the lower scale that are receiving some type of government subsidy, and they're both going to die. This is crazy. And if you don't think that it's going to spread through this country really quick, look at the CDC. They got a handful of cases, and they're all running around talking, to people that, were around the people who had Ebola. What happens when there's 100, when there's 500, when there's 1,000? They don't have the resources. Who even knows that, if we got enough, uniforms and the gowns and everything else, all of a sudden, with all these things happening, you got to backfill all the hospitals and everything and do all the training. We're not prepared for this. We got to stop people from coming into this country now, not 2 weeks from now, okay? But you know what? With the president, with the elections coming up, he's not going to do a goddamn thing till after the elections. And how many people will get infected every day that don't even know it until they break out? I need every one of you to call your senator, call your congressman, tell them close the borders. You're worried about the Ebola virus spreading. It's like nothing we ever seen. Well, I shouldn't say that. In 1927, look at influenza, and it killed millions of people. Go through an old cemetery and see how many people died in 1927 or around that year because the influenza virus came from Europe and it killed millions around the world. This is awfully sad. Please act on this now. We don't have time. Every day that we lose having the borders open, so somebody comes in, they know that they got a little fever, on the plane, they take a few little Tylenol or something, their fever goes down, and they're just going to zap them in the ear. This is crazy. Who's coming up with this idea? God bless us all. If you don't pray, you better start, because this is bad. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.